Hello YouTube, and welcome to another Zendikar Rising traditional draft. That means we'll be playing best of 3 with sideboards and we are drafting with people. Chat, say hello to YouTube. If you'd like to watch the drafting live and criticize my plays in real time, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Every time I do these videos, I like to kind of share with you my thoughts about the format so far and where we're going. We tried to go for a 4-color green deck. We got a bad version of it and still managed to go 2-1 with it. So I think cards like Reclaim the Waste, Roiling Regrowth, and Vastwood Herpaderp are giving you the opportunities to not just splash in green, but to build a green deck that's literally splashing lots of stuff. For example, I was splashing double black and triple black in that deck, and the mana was never an issue. So I'm going to at least be open to that. It kind of feels to me like that deck happens when you pick a good rare or a solid removal spell, and then the color gets cut, and you're like, well, I'll just play green and play all of it. So I think I'm not saying that I want first pick those ramp and or fixing spells. I'm just saying I'm not really looking to do that. Like, I think I'd still rather have a good solid card for some of the other archetypes. But if it's like legitimately abusable, maybe we can go for it. What's weird about it is like Umara Mystic would not be good in that deck. Cleric of Life's Blood would not be good in that deck. All of the gold cards aren't worth splashing. So like it's something to think about how you want to build that deck and how open it's going to be consistently. We got to the point in Ikora where we could basically guarantee that we'd see an Offspring's Revenge if one was opened at the table. I don't think this deck is going to get that level because other people are going to value it. We went 2-1 Chrono Mill, and I was relatively happy with that result because I only got 2 pieces of the fixing, and I was still able to splash double black. Yeah, you can't splash a harder to play 2-drop, right? Like, that's not going to help you. So it's interesting that you're building this splash deck, but you're splashing double colored powerful cards, or in some cases triple colored powerful cards, rather than the gold cards, because the gold cards are all relatively cheap. But we'll see what we get here, and that we'll let what we get dictate where we're going. But this guy's pretty good, right? This is 5/7 reach for 6. You can play lands from your graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger, it triggers again. So you get double landfall. Like, this is all the excuse I need to go into green. I was looking to do that anyway. If this wasn't here, what's your pick? Because, like, without this pack is kind of sad. You could go into this if you really wanted to play green. You'd probably have to take the Stinger if you wanted to go rogues over the Golem. Because I think taking the enablers is pretty important, although I guess you could. And then we're talking about a Bright Blade. So this is a pretty rough pack without the Mythic. I think the Golem's in the conversation too. Major Band Geek. We are in the YouTube view. So we are good to go there. So here, there's again some options, right? We could take a Relic Amulet and try to do things with Wizards. I don't mind Spikefield Hazard, but I kind of feel like I want to cut green here and see if we can get this going. It's not that the Visionary is the best card here. It's that with a green Mythic, I really want to be green. And as we just discussed, I'm not going to splash for the Mystic. I'm not going to splash. Well, I probably would splash for a Geyser Mage. Let's be real. But I've been pretty happy with the Visionary. It'll usually trade for something, even if it's trading down, and draw you a card. I think the Golem's been getting worse and worse because people are respecting the Rogue deck. Yeah, I think I like the Visionary. Like, the best cards here are the Relic Amulet and the Geyser Mage, and then the Mystic by a lot. But a rare's missing. We don't know what's actually going on, and I can build this out of commons. Well, that's interesting. We've got a Lull Mage's Familiar, which means if I'm base blue-green and get the pieces that I'm looking for, we can splash whatever we want. I could also take a Feed the Swarm or a Vanquish the Weak. And I like Veteran Adventurer a lot. I think you'd see too many people playing it if it was built that way, Tommy. I think I respect the familiar here. I'd like to have access to these, but those are splashable. What if we were base blue-green and then splashed... What if we were base black-green and then splashed something else? Because I like Thwart the Grave a lot. And I have some regrets. Not a lot of regrets, but some. No, there's not really many good green cards here. It is entirely possible that people are competing with me on this, but if I gotta get off this, I can. I still want to make sure the base of the deck, as much as possible, is green. It's a second Mystic, so blue-red is probably open. So this is kind of a decision point for us, right? In that I'm interested in the field research, and I'm interested in the Scythe Cat. I really want both, but I'm gonna start with the research. Okay, there's a Feed the Swarm. There's also an ACOG if we want to do this. Now, we haven't gotten the pieces that we need for fixing. Yeah, Thwart is splashable. I'd really rather be picking up a Bubble Tea here, but there isn't one, and it makes me sad. But I'll take the Feed the Swarm. If we need to be green-black and splash for some other stuff, we can do that. Or just be green-black. I can play that. This is super awkward. Like, there's nothing wrong with Malakir Rebirth. I think that means I just take it here. I really kind of need to see one of those pieces of green fixing for me to think that this is doable, and I haven't seen it yet. Because blue-red is open and we're passing it to try this deck, but I need to know if this is forcible. We've certainly cut the heck out of green. So we're gonna, if I win, then I'm a genius and just very good at Magic. If I lose, we're gonna call this one a science draft. So that's the trick. It's really a win-win either way. Okay. We could just be not white. Well, I kind of forced it in the last draft, Band Geek, and it was fine. I mean, I think it was better than fine. It was actively good. Like, we had the first two rounds were very easy. We could play this as a blocker. I'm still not opposed to being base blue-green. I don't think I'm playing that, but let's keep our options open here. We really only died via Mana Screw and Flood in the last round. Yeah, the people do like Scythe Cat. Like, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just taking the pieces to be the most open and play the most powerful cards we can get. Like this Maul of the Skyclaves. We're playing that. We're white now. So it's probable that we're just not playing red, but I can totally play this. Again, this depends on me getting some number of Roiling Regrowths or Explore the Wastes. But I'm pretty sure I can do that. So we'll be Bant Splash Black. All right. God, this looks like such a mess. Doesn't it? It looks like such a mess. Okay, so we've got a Fledgling, which I like. Why are we playing blue? That's the real question. Like, what if we just weren't playing blue? I don't really have a compelling reason to play blue. I could play white with this. We could be Abzan. Because I don't see a reason not to take this Griffin. It's the best card in the pack by a lot. The argument to not take it is because there's a Deadly Alliance. And I get that. But if this deck does what I want it to, this is where I want to be. We could probably play Nissa. It's at least telling us we can do green-black things. I'm okay with that. What if we weren't green? We're green. We're green, Band Geek. Nissa is mostly a 4 mana hill giant that's going to gain you some life. I'm okay with this. It's not good when you need to block with it, but let's just try not to block. Okay. I'm still not seeing the fixing pieces, but that's okay. I only need 2 of them to play a 3-color deck. I would play that. We're kind of doing a light black splash currently, mostly for Thwart the Grave, and I don't need a whole lot to make that happen. I need a little bit to make that happen, but not a whole lot. This is a nice pickup in our primary colors. I just need them to sneak through one copy. I've got a Pack Beast, and I still argue that Pack Beast isn't wonderful fixing. I don't think it is by a long shot, because sometimes you have to block with it. All right, so it's a little bit of decision time. And the Philidor is not bad. But I really liked Nectar Pot in this deck. I can probably find another one. You're kind of getting into like green-white stuff, but I can make this work. So tactics is going to be a little worse when we're playing birds and cats and elementals. I've already got a field research if we want to splash some card draw. I think I still take it, but I'm not 100% on it. We may just be like green-white stuff too. Birds can't party, but they can murder. This is a true fact. People are onto this deck. I don't know who was streaming this and doing well with it, but somebody certainly was. I feel like I can gain enough life with a Celebrant that I don't have to panic about it. I'm partially interested in the Silencer. Whenever I have a Thwart the Grave, I get interested in those. I realistically have to find a fixer now. But if we can find just one, I think we've got something here. Ah, okay. That would explain why people are gunning for it. Silencer with birds is not my favorite. Agree. But we've got random wizards. We've got 3 birds now, so that's interesting. We've got random wizards here and there, and we've got the Thwart the Grave. Like, what else were we going to play out of that pack? Like, probably not much. And we're starting to get to a point where we can just kill people with birds. I think I'd take the Nahiri if it wasn't here. But I've got to get my Reclaim the Waste this pack. I think it is the 3rd planeswalker we've seen. We could switch to black-white aggro. That's not crazy. We can abandon the green if we need to. We either get the payoff this pack or we don't. And the payoff would be the fixing, and we get to play the Arbor Mage. But like, we've got a reasonable black-white deck here anyway. I think we would probably want something like a Blood Price in that deck. I'd still like to be green if possible. Like, it's still my plan. But if I don't get a Reclaim the Waste or 2, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Well, it's not quite a Selesnya landfall deck, right? Like, we don't have that going for us. So here I'm thinking about the Binding versus the Rogue. And I think it needs to be the Binding. Because white seems like it's going to be our main color here. I'd really like to play this Rogue. The party tag would be relevant. It would do some stuff for us. But we may end up shifting out of some of these colors. But this is what I was talking about. Like, we've gone straight forward for this deck. It's not working, and we're okay. Because if I just cut the green out of this, I've got a decent deck. If I cut the black out of this, we've got a decent deck. So we'll see what we can pick up here. The Blight Priest is interesting, but I'm just going to take a second binding and double down on white. I don't really need any of this, do I? But another Pack Beast is fine. I'm not playing Pack Beast for fixing. I did say I was interested in a Blood Price, potentially. I think I actually am, because I could take the Blood Price, cut out this green, and have a reasonable deck. Do we have a Blood Price in the sideboard? We do not. We've got a Banneret in the sideboard, which probably gets played. Yeah, we got hacked out of green. And the downside is we get this pretty nice white aggro deck. I can live with that. We're at 11 creatures, so we probably need a few more. That probably puts me on Gloom Hunter here. Although I like the Dreadworm too. I would be interested in his off consumption, but we should be able to find a payoff for gaining life. Hey look, a payoff for gaining life. I want to have access to a disenchant if we're going to end up playing this, which I think we are. It's like going for the green deck and not getting it. The downside is you end up with an okay deck and something else. I'm okay with that. That's weird. Do we actually have any clerics? I think we have like 3. Oh, we've got 5. Okay, I can play this. I can play this. I wish I'd taken that Blight Priest. But I'll deal with it. We get a Subtle Strike too? Neat. Don't really understand that, but it's okay. Blood Beckoning. Blood Beckoning could be interesting too. I'm a little worried that I'm short creatures. This guy's pretty fun with the thing, but I think I'd rather have this. And we'll spin the Blight Priest and we're good to go. Neat. There you go. The game plan initially was to take the Ancient Green Warden and get into... Oh, I kind of want to play this. We'll make some decisions here in a minute. The plan was to take the Green Warden and get in on the multicolor green deck. It didn't work, and that's okay. In an aggro deck, how many 2-drop creatures do you want? I don't really think there's a lot of aggro decks in most limited, especially when you're playing best of 3. I think you can get into situations where there's aggressive decks outside of that. Have I voted yet? No, I'll be voting on election day. For Joe Biden, if you were curious. I'd rather be voting for Bernie, but I can't, so I'll take a cup of Joe. Yeah, you can finish a deck later in the game. We need 2 cuts here. It probably can't be a creature, although I suppose it arguably could be. Because I'm kind of just counting this here. I don't think I want to play the practice tactics. I do think I want the blood price. Because I'd like to have a way to try to look for this. And I have a hard time not playing Drana's Silencer when I've got to thwart the grave here. But to answer your question, I usually like to have at least 4 2-drops in my decks. Sure, original Zendikar was very aggressive. I still think most formats you're looking to play mid-range decks. Yeah, this was a green deck for a while, and then it wasn't. This deck's probably fine without the silencer, realistically. Like, the whole deck's flexible, and then we've got this ugly silencer. It's just not helpful. Yeah, I do need to research the propositions. That's one of the things I'm going to do before we go vote. I think this looks all right. I can play this. If this is the fail case of going... That's the thing I'm digging about the green deck. Here, we'll do our Stream Raiders battle. But, like, if going for it means you just end up with an okay version of another deck, I don't see a reason not to go for it. It kind of sucks that I figured it out at the same time the Lords of Limited guys did, or maybe a day or two after, and then now they're telling everybody about it. Because one of the things that's going to do is if you have multiple people going for that deck, they're going to gobble up the rares, the good rares for other colors, and just play them anyway. And it's going to make the synergy decks a little bit better. All right, we've got Click with the kills, Temp with the assists, gold for all of y'all, more gold for Tuber. Come in, we are closed, and the Ancient One gets some healer scrolls. We are moving towards this gold chest. Ooh, enemies will be revealed over time, huh? That's neat. All right, let's set up down in this corner and make an archer sandwich. And see if I can get some wins with this. Nothing wrong with healers. Healers are good. My headache seems to be diminishing. Maybe these blue blocking glasses actually do something. Yeah, that's kind of what we've ended up with, huh? That's a bad hand. Let's keep it. We've at least got a little bit of early interaction if they've got like a 3-1 or something and we have to kill it. Yeah, we can kill that if we need to. And I think we probably need to. Because I don't want to block it with the Blight Priest. Well, that's kind of neat. I think I like the Blight Priest first and then the Celebrant. Because that represents an attack for 3 damage. So I'd rather play the higher power creature. Like it's a 2-point life swing if I play this and it actually gets to attack. Here's a little awkward because I want to play the Celebrant, but I also want to play the Binding. But I suppose letting them equip and hitting me for a bazillion would be great. I can't guarantee that they're going to do that. If you attack first. Well, we're kind of okay trading because we've got this Thwart the Grave. I don't think there's any chance they're going to block. That's fair. And then we can potentially get them next turn, so we still get the damage. If they trade, it's okay. We'll get it back later. If they don't, it's also okay. Because now they kind of have to equip if they want to attack with it. And the Binding isn't going anywhere. I like that line. That's going to be hard to beat, but we've got a Disenchant in the sideboard and a Feed the Swarm main deck that can at least participate. This is going to be a little hard to beat too, but this is the world we live in. I do think we're on Binding this. And I think I need to attack here. They either take it, which is good for us, or they trade, which makes our Thwart the Grave do something in a few turns. There's no way they're not going to untap and kill this. Yeah, our only option is to race, because they're getting a 2-2 every turn. And that means that the 3-3 is not going to be particularly useful going forward. But I got 2 ways to get things out of my graveyard, so trading things off is probably good for us. This is a little gutsy, but I'm a little gutsy and I can take the first hit of 4. The only downside is if they just take it, I'm in an awkward spot, but I'll deal. What is your game record on MTG Arena Draft? I don't keep track of that. I just like to play the game. We were at around 60k gems when this format started, and I'm down to something like 54 now. So like we've not been doing wonderful, but I think it took me about a week to figure this format out because I was valuing the spell lands so highly. And I don't think that's the right call. So whatever you've got to be doing to go infinite, that's what my record is. That's gonna hurt. I think if I hit a feed the swarm basically right now, we can still play Magic. Otherwise, we might be in trouble. So it's convenient that we hit a feed the swarm right now. Now, that still leaves us some trouble here. Yeah, I thought they were going to be really good, and it turns out they're pretty good. They are the beatdown right now. They've got a creature land, and I don't really have a good way to interact with this. I need to trade off stuff. If they attack me with this, I'm going to put everything in front of it. If they don't, I'm going to be sad. I think hoping that your opponent forgets what their cards do is not super wise, but I hear you. If we're in a competitive tournament, maybe I try that, but we're not in a competitive tournament, so I'm not that concerned about it. They don't want to attack. That's interesting. Okay. They may think that's all I had for graveyard value and be more comfortable trading now, but I need something to block this. Yeah, that's probably best if you're playing competitively. But I look at this like we're streaming, it's for entertainment. We're YouTubing, it's for entertainment. It's for teaching. Like, I don't think it's hurting that much. You can also highlight irrelevant cards and make them think that you're like really interested in something that doesn't matter. Or go look through their graveyard and make them wonder what you have. I don't assign a lot of value to highlighted cards. Maybe we can make them think this is super important to us. I think they're going to hit me with it and then pacify it, I guess. They're kind of getting him in a spot where they can move this equipment over and start a real beat down. I think I can mostly block my way to a victory here. Yeah, I think we got this. Because I need to gain 3 life and they die. Which means this needs to deal damage and 2 things need to die, and they can't not block these. The Thwart the Grave is going to be lethal. Unless they don't kill one of the fledglings. Maybe I need to do attack with the something else too. Because I do need to get 2 creatures back. But I could still block my way to a victory otherwise. Oh, I only need to reanimate 1 thing. This is fine. Alright, so they got a lot of cards that we're pretty scared of. The Felidar Retreat being a really big one. We need to be aware that they have Song Mad Treachery and the land. So I think we at least want to disenchant. I don't think I'm interested in practice tactics, but let's see how many things I could theoretically kill with it. Not that, this, but who cares? Yeah, practice tactics isn't killing anything that matters. So I don't want to do that. How good is the worm on the draw? How good is the protector on the draw is another question to be asking. It trades with this. It trades with that. I'm already at 14 creatures. I don't need to cut a creature. Maybe we cut Blood Price on the draw. Because I've still got a little bit of card draw here potentially. I think I like that. Because I shouldn't need to draw cards. I've already got half of a Blood Price going into the game. Yeah, I've kind of got card draw from the bottom too, right? So this is a 1-lander with like one of the better cards we've got, but I still don't think I can keep it. I often do keep 1-landers on the draw. If this is a Plains, I think we could talk about it, but it's not. Somewhat less exciting, but we got a burb. I like burbs. Yeah, so we're gonna lean on those other card advantage cards to try to get something done here. And we're gonna lean on burb being good. It's a little bit worse on the draw. Like, imagine they play a 3-1 here. We probably just have to, like, trade, right? I may not have to trade with that, but we'll see what we get. Ideally, I draw, like, my 3-1 and can just trade them. Well, I can't feed it to the swarm. That's not happening. With the blood beckoning, I'm tempted to trade these off. Which is really not what I want to do with my burb. Okay. Now I'm happy with the burb. Any creature would be pretty good. We're looking at taking no damage. Because I'm just not firing this off when they have a Felidar retreat. Maul should stabilize me. It's at least out of range of Royal. That's awkward. If they kill this, I'm in some danger. But the first strike, I don't want to be using my Maul defensively, but here we are. That's not quite scary enough. It's close to scary enough, but not quite. What I want to be careful of is something like they steal my guy and get a really big hit in. So I think the Protector, even though we're again not getting great value, is fine. If they have a Cleric, it's pretty... What? Oh, no. I don't care about their life totals right now. We're just looking to stabilize. I don't even care a little bit about their life total. I care about mine. So 2 points of damage a turn I can handle. I don't care what theirs is. I got 3 cards. If I can deploy these, we probably win. The only argument there was, do I feed the Swarm this? And I don't think that's the case. Because if they're going to use their whole turn... Okay, that I may have to think about killing. I don't want to kill that. Because that's a lot of damage for me to take. But it makes lands do a lot of damage for them. So we're in a very scared position here. I feel like if I attack with this guy, I'm setting myself up to get blown out with an act of treason, but we see that they already have one in play. So I think we can start a little bit of aggression here. We could trade here. Eat this trade here. A warrior would be kind of bad. But I have to start clocking them. Yeah, I have to start clocking them. Because if I can connect with this one more time, a land will do it. Like a land almost does it now, right? Yeah, this is lethal if I can keep these two things alive. With a land. So we'd have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That doesn't mean there's a land on top, but it'd be nice if we could find one. I like our chances if land is a good draw. It's not a land. All right, let's do the same thing then. Is there any value to attacking and then moving it? Oh, it doesn't matter now. Yeah, they could have made that unblockable and put me to 3 here, which would be significantly scarier. We're dead to like a kicked Royal Eruption, but I don't think they have. How much is that to kick? That's a lot, right? I guess we're dead to Royal Eruption, unblockable 2 power. They could also just unblockable the 2 power dude, move the equipment over, but that still just puts me to 1. One is not 0. Okay, so the main thing we want to make sure of is that we've actually got lethal next turn if possible. And I think something like this does that because they need to kill this for me not to have them. Their entire board is wiped. I don't think there's a trample spell. There's +3/+1. If they have that here, we're a little sad. But I like none of their creatures living through this. I think I'm comfortable with this block. The only downside is the land doesn't kill them if they have a combat trick. That was a pretty good combat trick. That was a pretty good combat trick. If I didn't block with the flyer, we'd have them here, but I did, so we don't. And there's literally no way for me to live. I forgot Dauntless Unity was a card. All right, back to the drawing board. It'd get you once. Press F to pay respects. It ain't gonna get me again. So it is possible to draw them all of the Skycleaves and lose. I can do that. I've had that. I have that power within me. All right. I like to party. Yeah, I think it is. Because the combat tree, I can't think of anything that kills me if I don't block with the flyer. I think that was just a mistake. There's there's situations where like combat trick plus royal gets me, but I just left myself with no way to win this way, which is not great. Somewhat obviously. Yeah, we're dead to royal anyway, so like playing around it doesn't matter. They don't have royal eruption, so we don't have to worry about that. They had enough to kill me with royal eruption. I think they had 5. No, I don't think that changes things that much. It does, but I was at 5 and they had 2 power unblockable, so they could make the 2/2 unblockable, hit me for 2, cast Royal Eruption for 3, and I'm dead. So they weren't going to kick it, but that doesn't matter. A land would be pretty swell here. But I'll take eating up some of their turn. I'm going to have to feed that. I don't want to feed that. It's so much damage. But it will kill me. We're now cold to Felidar Retreat, which I do not care for. Gosh darn it. And they top deck it like a champ. Okay. Game on. Can Travis draw a land? No, he cannot. I might can race Felidar Retreat with that because this has vigilance. This is close. What does that do? Oh, it's just a duel. Okay. First strike got your number. First strike still got your number. Oh, we're going to learn a valuable lesson about first strike, aren't we? That's unfortunate. We're going to learn a very valuable lesson about first strike. All right, this is where we're at. A bunch of tapped cats. That's good. My guy's significantly less dangerous now. One kitty. They've still got some potential top decks, but yeah, we're looking at a pretty good round here. I don't have any part. Well, I got a pack beast to get back, I guess, which is probably worth doing here. Because it is a cleric, and it makes sure that if my stuff dies, I've got that going for me. So this means I just untap and can potentially drain them out. And I don't think I died to another act of treason. Yeah, they did. Black White Landfall. Who'd have thunk it? I should have had game two. That's on me. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle and then get to the next game. A lot of bad guys. But not enough bad guys. We're kind of tearing them to bits. We almost lost one yesterday. It was really close. I think we had 4 dudes left at the end. Philidor Retreat's a very good card. It's not entirely unbeatable. It's just scary. I think their deck was likely better than ours, but that's like a lot of people will look at a deck and be like, this deck's a 3-0, this deck's a 2-1, this deck's an 0-3. And it's like, it doesn't matter how good the deck looks. You have to play out the games. Like, I've top 8'd PTQs with garbage sealed pools and gone 0-2 drop with really good ones. Falco with the kills, David with the assists, gold for everybody, scrolls for Grumpy, Click, and Ninja Me Timbers. That's a pretty good one. All right, almost to the gold chest. Go fight win. That worked out all right. I'll take it. They even killed my Sky Maul and we still managed to win. That's satisfying. Arena, what you doing? I'm trying to record a YouTube draft. At least it's not as bad as launch day. Because launch day was bad. Bad. All right, I can play this. More like Gruul Jazz Elemental. I guess if you're just doing jazz hands with one hand, you're actually just waving, huh? Well, that's scurry. That's real scurry. That's going to kill my poor little bat. I reckon we still respect this dude. No, it just doesn't make... it does make it some sense, because we're going to try to kill him in the air. And if they got like a Baloth, I can just attack into it. I don't care about that. I'm kind of tempted not even to attack with the Protector, because I don't want to trade it when I've got a combat trick. But it's still just a good trade. Means we lose out. No, we don't. It was a cleric. We didn't lose any life. Sure. What's up, Lincoln? Seems to be going all right. I just want to make sure we keep this alive. So we're going to hang on to this rebirth. Okay. They're going to get back some stuff, but as long as it's not air stuff, I don't care. I think they're going to get things back, put a counter on this, try to kill my Gloom Hunter. We save it, we win the game. Okay, take another turn. That's fine. If this has 7 toughness and 6 power, it's not actually killing 2 things. There's no reason not to make it bigger, but it doesn't make much sense to attack with it this turn. Didn't even need it. So they showed me some artifacts, but not really any that I want to interact with. Like, we can assume they have a Blood Beckoning. That's pretty reasonable. They could have had plenty of double red spells. Like, it looks like green-black stuff with maybe a red splash. I'm really confused what this is for, but I mean, I could see justifying it if you think your opponent's going to be playing a lot of X1s, which I've seen people do in this format, and you have some of the green wizards, because there are green wizards. But I don't really see anything that super needs to be changed here. They're going to bring in Broken Wings against us if they have them. But we're kind of okay with that. I, again, may not need Blood Price, but I don't have a lot to bring in here. How good is Tactics? It's not, well, it's okay. I think I might prefer Tactics to a Blood Price on the draw. Barely. I'm looking at it to mainly kill the Constrictor, or if we're super lucky, to force a Baloth into a block and kind of use it as a combat trick, sort of. We're doing pretty good today, Lincoln. This is not a wonderful opener, but that's okay. It's got the flyers that we know they're weak to, so I like that. I'd rather them have traded, so we'll give them the opportunity to do that if they like. We can thwart the grave next turn. That'll be pretty good. I really don't like blocking this because they're pretty highly signaling Might of Marasa. Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm pretty happy blocking that. This could get scary. Nice whack. I hope you have fun. It's gonna hurt. But we got to do what we can to stay alive. A removal spell here forces a chump, and then I'll get a 4/4 blocker and this back and some life. I'm trying to play into maximize Thwart the Grave. And I really don't want to use it until this is dead. How bad would it be now? Pretty bad. I could. I could. And we may do that next turn if we don't draw something. Like drawing a removal spell is another option I'm quite interested in. So we'll see what we hit. I feel like something will naturally happen to cause the shepherd to die eventually. But maybe I do like this plan. Because I can still take out the Baloth. Yeah, we've got to be careful that we don't get wrecked to that thing. But if I thwart next turn, I can start attacking because I'll have a 4/4 flying blocker. I don't think we want to do that just yet. I think we'd like to save it. We sort of need to play around roiling regrowth here. Which I can do. A lot of the combat tricks can potentially get me here. I can gain 6 off of this, 7 really, if I need to. Problem is I have to act first. We can use the Malakir Rebirth as like a pseudo terminate on the construct, which is kind of nice too. They should just pass here. Broken Wings on the Maul. Okay. Doesn't work on... Yeah, it's only creatures. I don't... I mean, this is what I got, so we have to take it. Having this in play doesn't do anything this turn. We'd be looking to... We kind of have to block here and chump this and then take 5, which is not going to work. So they need to make a mistake, is what's up. They need to respect like a party tactics. Wouldn't you have rather killed the 5/4 than the gecko? I didn't have the opportunity to kill anything else, did I? Oh, darn it. They saw the line. This is very unfortunate. If I had Malakir Rebirth up, we could have done something this turn, but I didn't. I was close. I still think I like the practice tactics. It would have been like there's a couple spots where it would have been good for us. And like Broken Wings is going to be good against us too. There's not really much I can do about that. They've got a lot of ways to kill my Maul between a Broken Wings and a... did we see? No, it was the last opponent that had the Molten Blast. But they've at least got the wings, so it's going to be hard for me to stabilize with that. Oh, it's all right, Shadow Scythe. I didn't plan for them to blow up my Maul, and then they did, and it was a problem. It was a mauling. I gotta say, I had a little bit of a headache. I put on my blue blocking glasses. I don't have a little bit of a headache anymore. I don't really have one at all. So, like, these things may just actually be wonderful. Or it could be psychosomatic. In which case, placebo for the win, man. It was a gazebo. All right, I can do something with this. Like draw 1 land would be nice. We knew they were going to bring in the destroy a flyer spell against us. We got too many flyers. I did get the blue light blocking glasses, and so far I got to say I like them. Well, that's unfortunate. They have to take this toward the grave. I think. Maybe they don't think. Because I'm happy with either of these next turn. If I draw a land, I can play the priest. If I don't, we can play the raptor. Okay, so they're trying to do the green thing we were trying to do. I imagine a lot of people are. Because it's fun. But I think you got to know when to get out of it, which is what we did. Because they're going to play a cleric here, and then we just kill them in the air, right? Yeah, we super kill them in the air. See you later. Synergy. All right, give me 2 seconds. We're going to take a quick potty break, and then we will play our last round. I'll be right back, YouTube. Thank you for your patience. If I could pause while recording in OBS, that wouldn't be a big deal, but I can't, so it is. All right, and I think we had a pretty easy Stream Raiders battle too. So before I start the next one, yeah, this is but a 2 skull, and there's plenty of us. Let's smush this, and then we'll go do the next round. The rogues are trying to make it to the treasure chests, but they cannot. Widget is kind of murdering people. Dude. Level 19 warrior? Widget did some work. What is this? A future musketeer? Heck yeah. Y'all got some cool skins. Some of you will have to die for us to achieve victory, and this is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Got hair in my face. I don't like that. All right, Falco with the kills, Lincoln with the assist. Widget was truly a hero as well. Gold for all of y'all. Scrolls for Carol, Orcish, the Ancient One, Neuro, and John. I'll pick that up later. We're doing a YouTube video. All right, we got more dudes that are going to be invading us here. I will tank. I liked the hide in the corner strategy. Let's see if we can get a 3-0 for YouTube. I don't think I've had one since the first one I did. So it'd be nice to like insinuate that I can win a game every now and then. Keep them fooled. You can bluff not having a spell to cast by quickly passing with the spacebar or automatically by clicking end turn. Good to know. All right, this has got some potential. The potions let you place an epic unit. The food resets your cooldown. You don't really need to use the food. It's just there if you want to go really banan crazy. One land and we're off to the races. Well, yeah, that too. You do want to use the potions as soon as you can. Fair. I don't think this is ideal, but this was kind of put in the deck to trade with 2 drops, and red white should take that damage, or should take this trade, rather than trying to race me with life gain. Now, we had a weird red white deck yesterday that had a bunch of clerics, and I can sort of see that being reasonable here. I'm not sure what they're going for now, though, unless they've got like a party tactics. And if they got a party tactics, they just end up killing the fledgling. They do not have a party tactics. The potions you use when you get 50, and it'll prompt you to use them. Well, that worked out all right. That Sky Mall might be a reasonable magic card, huh? I'm going to take a gamble and play the disenchant over the blood price. We know they've got at least one equipment. They may have some pacifisms. Yeah, you can do that with the food, but there's really no reason that I've found while playing to do so. Hey, we played 4 lands that game. Just one of them was the same land. We played it twice. Is it really the same land then? Reasonable for 50% of the table. Fair. Not our best opener, but not worth sending back either. They got better. It got worse. Magic, thank you for the host. Appreciate you bringing your people over here. Y'all spam some cats for Magic. Hope y'all are having a great afternoon. We are finishing up our YouTube draft for the day, which is an exciting thing to be doing. That Cinderclasm could have been better for them, so I'm glad they traded 1 for 1. I'm glad the cat's watching the stream. That's good news. That's real good news. Oh man, I hope they don't mill me. That would be terrible. Okay. What am I playing against? Howdy, Sosebi. Oh, you're spamming cats for Magic, because you were here earlier. It's always a good idea to spam cats. I don't really need to make this indestructible now. Yeah, I don't think I feel compelled to do that. I'll save it for when they actually play something that can block it. That's a lot of work to kill my Dreadworm. Okay, we can thwart it back later. It ain't going anywhere. Am I really about to binding a Tug Tuck Rubble Fort? Yep. Hiya. All right, so the story of this draft was we went for the green splash everything deck. It didn't get there, but because we were just picking powerful cards from multiple colors, we were eventually able to get together a deck of powerful cards. There wasn't a lot of synergy in it, but we just ended up with a bunch of strong cards, and that's kind of enough to win a draft at Magic, so I'll take it. Y'all say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube people, thank you for tuning in and watching the video here. Again, if you'd like to watch the drafts live and in person, you can catch them at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.